Powell is in the crowd. I didn't spot him, but someone says they saw him there.
And Secretary Page and Norton, Secretary Norton, they're all there. I guess they've all been escorted to the front. And, of course, Tom Ridge. It's interesting, Howard, that the strategic planning of Karl Rove, who you mentioned, the president's chief advisor on politics, they picked out Pennsylvania early. They put Ridge in there. They gave him that wonderful opportunity as Homeland Secretary. And they put in Tommy Thompson even earlier than that. And then the president began to make innumerable trips to Wisconsin and to Pennsylvania. And those are likely to be the two he doesn't get.
He's not going to.
Part of the genius of Karl Rove is not so evident tonight.
No, Karl Rove's basic play was for the upper Midwest, for what they think is a changing culture there. In their large view, the upper Midwest, the industrial Midwest, is the new South in terms of culture. That it's moving Republican, it's moving conservative, just as the Democratic Party of the South did a generation ago. And they may be right, but it didn't quite happen this time, or it didn't quite happen this time around. You know, they won the Catholic vote by 1 point in the final exit polls, which is crucial for a Republican.
Is that more than is that better than they did last time around?
Yes, it is better than they did last time around. They lost it. Gore won it last time around, and one of Karl Rove's objectives was to win it. He also wanted to raise the percentage of Hispanic vote, which they did
today.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay, we have Mike Isikoff joining us, right? And Mike Barnicle up there.
Conduct of the war on terror, over the use of commander-in-chief powers to take extraordinary measures to defend the country as the president sees fit, which have led to controversy over the Abu Ghraib scandal.
These always make the history books. That's the president of the United States receiving the concession call from John Kerry. Those are. Will that make news week?
Well, some version of it might, and we were told that the president was sitting around in the Oval Office in the hours and minutes before that call, as thanking everybody, as Bob Kerr said, and also kind of tearing up. You know, he was getting very emotional about it all, and I think there are a lot of heavy emotions there.
You don't believe that TikTok, do you?
I believe some of it. I don't believe it all. We try to get more than one source if we can. But listen, I think this is a big deal. Don't forget one other thing.
President's victory. NBC Nightly News tonight.
The battle over the...
And I will work to earn it. I will do all I can do to deserve your trust. A new term is a new opportunity to reach out to the whole nation. We have one country, one Constitution, and one future that binds us. And when we come together and work together, there is no limit to the greatness of America. Let me close with a word of the people of the state of Texas. We have known each other the longest, and you started me on this journey. On the open plains of Texas, I first learned the character of our country, sturdy and honest, and as hopeful as the break of day. I will always be grateful to the good people of my state, and whatever the road that lies ahead, that road will take me home. A campaign has ended, and the United States of America goes forward with confidence and faith. I see a great day coming for our country, and I am eager for the work ahead. God bless you, and may God bless America.
President George W. Bush, as he prepares to begin a second term as President of the United States, doing what candidates always do in these circumstances, thanking his running mate, his family, and his friends, and then speaking directly, as he described it, to every person who voted for my opponent. I want to earn your trust. A new term means a new opportunity for America. Very mindful of the fact that this is his opportunity to set his place in history. He talked at the beginning about the outdated tax code, Social Security, education, values, family, and faith, and also about continuing the war in Iraq and the war on terror. Tim Russert is here with me.
Tom, I thought Vice President Cheney used a very interesting word in introducing the president. He said consequential presidency. George W. Bush believes that his presidency is consequential and potentially historic. If he can bring democracy to Iraq and Afghanistan, two challenges that are in their fledgling stages, we should say, but also reform the tax code and reform Social Security. Reform Social Security in a way that is going to set off a seismic debate in this country about that program.
The whole entitlements program, beginning with Social Security and what's going to be done, because the arithmetic simply is not there, and both parties know that. As we watch the President and Mrs. Bush drink in the adulation of their admirers, their supporters, their friends, their family members, their twin daughters in the background, let's bring in now Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican of South Carolina, who's in Greenville, I believe.
Yes, sir.
And at the Democratic National Headquarters in Washington, D.C., one of his former members of the U.S. House of Representatives, the Democratic leader of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Let's begin with you, Senator Graham. There's so much talk about the healing that is required in this country, closing the deep divisions and with the differences so stark.
Well, these two gentlemen have set the tone. I thought Senator Kerry did an excellent job.
Here today.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Tom.
Thank you very much.
you.
Thank you very much. Congresswoman Pelosi of San Francisco and Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. So we've heard from the president now, his speech in which he spoke directly to John Kerry's supporters, the people who voted against him, saying he wanted to earn their trust, and he does see this as an opportunity to change things in America. That's always a noble sentiment. It's been expressed by both parties, but when you go beyond that, in both instances, they say, look, this is not an easy job. It's not just a rhetorical exercise. It is going to take an exceptional effort, leadership on the part of both parties as well. On behalf of all of us here at NBC News, we want to remind you that there's continuing coverage on MSNBC. You'll see Tim and me again, whether you want to or not, tonight on NBC Nightly News. We'll have a special one-hour edition at that time of this historic change. The day after, Kerry concedes.
And I wish that things had turned out a little differently.
The president declares victory.
We had a long night and a great night.
And outlines a vision for his second term. The party, another defeat for the Democrats. What went wrong? Where do they go from here? The court, new justice.